You see, there are 1 billion people in this world who have access to bank accounts without currency controls, bank accounts that can transmit money internationally, that can access international markets, that can access deep pools of liquid credit for their loans. Us, the rich people of the Western world. And then there's the other 6 billion. People all around the world who have limited bank accounts or no bank accounts at all. People who live on $1 a day, if they're lucky. People who have no access to international markets, no access to international finance, no access to loans, no access to opportunity. I'd like to think I'm a really smart guy and I got here because of the efforts that I made throughout my life, but we all know that's bullshit. I got here through an accident of birth that put me in a white middle-class society in Greece, in a developed nation, as a child of professionals, educated professionals. I was swimming with the current all the way, and right now there are hundreds of thousands of people who are smarter than me dying of diphtheria somewhere in the world. And so I care about what we can do with cryptocurrencies to bring economic development, to bring economic inclusion, and to bring the other 6 billion online and into a world economy without borders, without political corruption, without massive theft, and without parasitic banks. And it starts with charity. It starts with charity at a very basic level, and this community says charity more than any other cryptocurrency community. So thank you so much for leading the way and showing as an example what we can do with cryptocurrency when we think of doing good. Because that's what's amazing about this community. Bitcoin has a lot of charity too, and we've achieved some amazing things in the Bitcoin space. About a month and a half ago, Newsweek magazine destroyed the life of an innocent old man called Dorian Nakamoto by saying that he was the creator of this currency. And I started a fundraiser, and within 6 hours we raised more than 30 Bitcoin for Dorian Nakamoto, and now we've raised almost 50 Bitcoin to help this man put his life together. At the same time, major charities like Sean's Outpost, which is one of my favorite charities, distributed over the last year 65,000 meals to the homeless of Pensacola, Florida, by tapping into Bitcoin and using it to raise money from all around the world for people who, if they care, they can now send money anywhere in the world to support the charity of their choice. Charities like Free Aid, which when there was a hurricane, or typhoon rather, in the Philippines, raised money and sent over $5,000 within a day and got it right on the ground where it mattered and where it could make a difference in people's lives instantly, without having to worry about regulations and wire transfers and giving Western Union a 20% cut so they can make their profit line better. People in developed world who have jobs as migrants and itinerant workers, Mexicans here in the US, Indians from in many different countries, including in places like Dubai doing construction, send money home to their families abroad. $500 billion going primarily to 4 countries: Mexico, the Philippines, Indonesia, and India. And that $500 is actually a lot more than we send as the developed world in terms of financial aid. Approximately $175 billion are sent by our governments to the developing world. And guess where that money goes? The money we send through our government goes to the top of their government and then trickles down. And only about 5% of it actually reaches the people in need, because the rest is taken through corruption. Meanwhile, out of the $500 billion sent through remittances, $75 billion is collected as fees by companies like Western Union. They charge anywhere from 5% to more than 25% for people sending money home to their families. That's 75 billion out of the pockets of the poorest people on this planet. And we can change that. And we can change that right now. Cryptocurrencies have the ability to enable flows of money from the developed nations to the developing world to give back that $75 billion to the people who need it most. And if you take that money and you put it in the pockets of the poorest people in the world, specifically if you put it in the pockets of women who run the finances in these communities and get money from their husbands abroad and their family members abroad, they convert every single one of that dollars into water and sanitation and education and healthcare, and they have an immediate impact that reaches very far in their own communities.